Good afternoon, 8th graders. Here? Okay, good. Yes, now you guys can see me. Good afternoon, 8th graders. This is Mr. Azari here, Greasy Azari, and we're here to talk about what goes on in chapters 9 and 10. Mr. Azari, I don't read. Mr. Azari, the audio doesn't work. Well, now you will get Mr. Azari standing in front of a bunch of blurry pictures, and you can't always see the words, but I'm going to give you the summary of chapters 9 and 10 for the outsiders. Okay, dressed in my greasy jacket. So we all know chapter 9, Ponyboy comes home from the hospital after seeing a dying Johnny and, of course, an angry Dolly. Dolly angry? Who knew, right? So he goes home and they're all getting ready. The greasers are greasing up and they're getting ready for the rumble. And they're really getting ready for this fight with the socials. And they're gonna, throw down, Let's get ready to rumble! And they're doing cartwheels and no-hand somersaults. Please do not ask me to do that. Probably break my tibia. Flying to the window. But they're getting ready. Derry's ready. He's got his black shirt on, his muscle shirt on, he's ready to go. Soda Pop is looking as great as ever. Steve is just Steve. Tom Cruise, who cares about him, right? And of course, Two Bits got his jokes. Ponyboy is being perceptive and he's watching everybody. And he's, kind of analyzing the situation. They go to the vacant lot and they're ready to fight the socials. They join the other greaser gang and they're ready to go. Okay? Slide. Then all of a sudden in the movie it rains. So, they can see all their muscles and stuff. Just rains just right when they start fighting. I mean, that's just crazy. Anyway, so dramatic. But the rumble is really violent. And Ponyboy is a really crappy fighter. He's just getting the crap beat out of him the whole time. Like, who thought it, right? He's just this sensitive boy. He's just getting pummeled right there. Oh my gosh. Looks like Osea's just slamming someone's head into the ground. So he's sick. He's not feeling well, but he wanted to sit, he wanted to prove to everybody he could fight. He just basically gets his butt beat the whole entire time. But the greasers win anyway. The greasers win the fight. And the socials, they run back to their cars. Oh my God, we're going back to the west side. It's horrible. These freaking greasy fools. Dolly showed up right before the fight, right? He was like, let's get ready to rumble. He beats people's face in. The greasers win. And Dolly says, Ponyboy, we gotta go see Johnny. We gotta go see Johnny right away. And they're driving in the car. And of course, Dolly's always getting in trouble. The cops pull him over. They pretend that Ponyboy has been in a motorcycle accident. Dolly convinces the cop to actually escort him to the hospital, which is weird because he's about to get killed by the cops in about 3 to 4 slides. And they get to the hospital and they're there to see Johnny. And Johnny's on his deathbed. Slide. So they get to the hospital just in time before Johnny dies. And they tell him, Dolly says, we're the greasers and we won the rumble. We won the rumble for you, Johnny. And Johnny says, fights don't matter. Nobody wins in a fight. He goes to Ponyboy and says, Ponyboy, stay gold, Ponyboy. Stay gold. And then he dies. And Johnny's dead. End of chapter 9. And Dolly turns off into violent rage. Oh my God! Chapter 10. Chapter 10 starts. Dolly's crazy. He's running off to the, violent southwest. And Ponyboy is walking around town. He's delusional. He's like, Johnny's still alive. Johnny's just smoking cigarettes on the curb. Johnny's just playing in the park. He's just playing arcades at the bowling alley. Everything is fine. So, Ponyboy's like on drugs, even though he's not. He's just had a lot of tragedy in his life. A lot of upheaval. People just dying left and right. People getting beat up and throwing up and dying and going crazy, pulling out switchblades. Finally, he goes home. And we all know that whole scene in chapter 3 where he goes home and Derry's like, where were you? Pony Boy's like, "You're not the boss of me." And Derry goes, "Bam!" This time, Pony Boy comes home and Derry goes, "Where were you?" But he realizes, I'm not going to do that again. Because what happened last time? A murder, and people ran away, and it was all this chaos. I'm not going to do that again. Pony Boy says, John is dead. John had died. Daddy going crazy. Right when he did that, ring, telephone. Someone picked up. It was Dally. Derry picked up, and then it was Dally on the other line. Dally's like, "Oh my God, things going crazy." Sly. "Things going crazy. I robbed a grocery store, and now I'm on the run. And the cops are after me. Meet me at the vacant lot." So the greasers, no one does somersaults this time off the balcony. The greasers come. "Dally, no!" Dally comes. Dally's got a gun. This is a comb, but we'll just pretend like it's a gun. Pulls out his gun, and Pony Boy recalls that it's empty, right? Because it's just for intimidation. And pulls out the gun. As he pulls out the gun, the cops shoot him. Boom, bing, boom, ah, oh my God! He dies. And this is him crawling. Matt Dillon plays him in the movie. And he's crawling, and of course, it wasn't raining, but now of course it is again, anytime there's things that go down, it just starts raining, And all these boys in their black shirts and they're running. And they see Dally's dead. Of course, Pony Boy has to make it about himself, and Pony Boy faints. Says, "The ground rushed to my head," which was hyperbole. Yes, Haiti, you got it right today in Google Meets. The ground rushed to my head. He just fell. He fainted. All this is going on. He's sick. He's, of course, he's been exhausted. He hasn't eaten. He's malnutrition. They eat cake for breakfast. All this bad nutrition. He hasn't had a good meal in months. And he's sick. He's hallucinating. He's becoming confused with reality. He starts to think that Johnny's alive. He starts to really wonder why, why he's a greaser and why are they doing all this? These rumbles are pointless, you know what I mean? And he's in bed, he's confused, and he's in the hospital, and they take him home, and he's in unrest. He starts screaming for Johnny. He starts screaming for someone. And then when he wakes up, someone tells him that he wasn't screaming for Derry, and he's like, "Why am I not screaming for Derry?" And he's just confused. And then he realizes, man, oh my God, I missed like freaking 3 weeks of school. All my track dreams, you could just throw those out the window. And so the pop's like, "None of that matters, Pony Boy. Just as long as you get some rest." But anyway, we move on because the slides have moved, so we must move too. R.I.P. Johnny and Daddy. Pony Boy is still alive, but he's kind of, incensed and loopy and out of touch with reality. But yes, Johnny, Daddy, we should pour some out for the homies if I had something to pour out right now. And R.I.P. to Daddy and Johnny Cake. So these chapters are in the memory of them. No more Johnny, no more Daddy. All right, so thank you for watching chapters 9 and 10 Picture Show. I really enjoyed doing it. I hope you enjoyed watching it. Can't really see all the notes, but I've told you all the important points. This is a picture show. If you actually were in Google Meets today, you would have saw it on your screen. But you just need to know all these major parts of the story as we lead into the last chapters 11 and 12. Let's look at some due dates, shall we? For all the assignments due this week. So we have chapter 10 discussion questions due Wednesday. Those were posted on Google Classroom today. Okay, so that will be due Wednesday. Actually, that was posted Monday. My apologies. So chapter 10 discussion questions were posted on Monday. They're due Wednesday. If you were in the meets today, there was only about 9 of you. And Brian left halfway, so about 8.5 of you. You'll understand that, the discussion questions are done. You've already completed them. They're done. It's over. But if you weren't in Google Meets, then you don't have those done, do you? unless you do them on your own. We had a new assignment, Padlet.com, Dali's death response. You're going to give me your opinion on Padlet. You're going to go to Padlet. You're going to click on the plus sign. It's like in a circle, it's a little plus sign. And you're going to add your comment. You're going to give me a 3 to 4 sentence response in regards to, do you think Dali killed himself on purpose? Death by cop shooting? Suicide by cop? Do you think that he did that whole stunt on purpose? Or do you think it was just, he was a victim of the circumstances? Okay? So that's going to just be your opinion. You can give some textual evidence. Of course, I really like that textual evidence. You guys know that, to support your claim. Read chapter 11, due by Monday. And then we'll read chapter 11. I'll put the audio narration by Friday onto Google Classroom. And you guys will do did Pony Boy lose his mind? Quick rap. And that's about Pony Boy just going crazy. He thinks John is still alive. He starts to think that he killed Bob. And things go really crazy in chapter 11. So, so much death, so much loss for Pony Boy. And that will be due Monday as well. So the quick write for that is Monday as well. I'll post those on Friday. Okay? Any questions, hit me up on Google Classroom. Thank you for watching. Appreciate you. Stay greasy, 8th graders.